What do Benson, Boone, Bohemian Rhapsody, and winning pitches and presentations have in common? The answer is much more than you might think. I'm going to take you through Benson's recent Coachella performance and show you exactly how you can use the things that have won him critical acclaim and 8.4 million views on his YouTube channel to supercharge your public speaking. Let's get started. When I'm coaching leaders and sales teams, I often reference Bohemian Rhapsody because it's got an amazing way of holding the audience's attention. So let's see what Benson does at the beginning of this video. Here we go. Is this the real life? So before we even get anywhere, just going to look at how calmly he walks to that piano. I mean, that audience is absolutely huge. You can hear the roar of the crowd. You've got a full gospel choir on stage, and yet look at how grounded and centered he is as he walks onto stage. Is this just fantasy? Love it. I mean, look at that. The theatrics of this as a presentation are just absolutely amazing. It's quite rare, I think, to see live music doing this level of theatre. So what we're about to see is Benson sitting down at the piano, and notice how he stops before he starts. No escape from reality. So there's a pause there. And there we go. Oh, it's such a good song.
Mama, just killed a man. I put a gun against his head. I pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama.
So just like the beginning of any great pitch or presentation, what we've got here is a little bit of scene setting. We're kind of drawing the audience in. He's not hitting them straight in the face with something that's huge. That's all going to come later. Because actually we need to meet the audience where they are in terms of energy levels. So we don't want to be too big and theatrical and over the top at the beginning. We want to gently say to people, you know, come with me. Let's see what's coming next.
Life had just begun, and now I've got to throw it all away. Mama!
Okay, and now we've got a real kind of change in pace. He's standing up. He's starting to warm up the crowd. And you can feel that very, very quickly. I'm starting to get goosebumps just listening to it. But there's a shift in energy here that lets us know that something more is coming. And in a pitch or presentation context, that's exactly what we want to do with our audience. We want to start to build that level of excitement, get people leaning in and anticipating what's coming next.
Didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really mattered.
Okay, so we've got to the end of the kind of first phrase there. And in a presentation or pitch context, that's the introduction. We've sort of set the scene. We've introduced ourselves. We know what we're there to do. And right now we're about to change gear. And what's really interesting to me is that we're about like a minute and a bit into the song. So if we think about this as a kind of percentage of the performance, the first 20% here has been spent just sort of getting us to know the performer, the speaker in this context, and understand the world in which this presentation has been delivered. So let's dive in and see what comes next. So the costume's coming off. And the backflip. Now, obviously, I'm not suggesting you backflip your way into every pitch and presentation. I mean, you could, and it would make a massive impression on your audience, but it's probably not something that you can repeat every single time. But we do want to be shifting that energy and saying, okay, this is what comes next. Let me tell you a story. And we're just about to get into that.
time has come.
I just want to talk about the level of relaxation that he has here. Now, he is an absolutely amazing performer, and you can get a sense of the crowd and how many people are in the audience right now. But this guy just looks like he was born to be there. And that's because there's no tension going on in the body. You know, if he walked onto stage and was holding his microphone a little bit like this, we'd all feel nervous for him. Instead, he's taking up space. He has a level of flexibility there that makes us want to listen to him. And you'll see this from his body language. The camera's going to be behind him right now. And you can just see how comfortable and at home he looks. When you're thinking about your own pitches and presentations, that is absolutely key. You need to put your audience at ease. If you feel anxious and nervous and uptight, your audience is going to start to feel anxious and nervous and uptight. So you've got to find a way through warm-up, through preparation, through rehearsal to get to a level of comfort like Benson's got here on stage. That means you're just there in dialogue with your audience. Let's continue.
Send shivers down my spine. The body's aching all the time. Goodbye.
It's really interesting as well. Look at that open gesture. Like, it's really large and expansive. Again, if he was kind of keeping everything small and playing everything a little bit tight, we wouldn't feel that level of connection to him. So as we're thinking about our hand gestures and our body language for pitches and presentations, it's all about keeping things open, relaxed and expansive in that gesture plane between the eyebrows and the navel.
Everybody, I've got to go. I've got to leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama,
and there we go. We've got a surprise, something that we weren't expecting out of the stage on the hydraulic platform. Comes the legend that is Brian May. So I want to challenge you to think about your pitches and presentations. What's the Brian May in your narrative? What's going to change things up? As part of the music here, we're getting this raging guitar solo, and it's changing the dynamic, really starting to stir the emotions. And it's a classic piece of storytelling. It's keeping us alive. It's drawing us in. So what we don't want in any pitch or presentation is a kind of flat line where everything's all a little bit the same and all a little bit grey and dull. We need to have this variation, and we need to choose specific moments within our narrative to introduce something new and exciting. So let's hear the guitar.
I sometimes wish I'd never been born at
You've got to have a guitar solo. You've got to have that moment where your audience can just sort of sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What you're seeing here is not only two great performers. I mean, there are, 30 people on that stage right now, and everyone is allowing us as an audience to enjoy what they are doing. That's absolutely what we need to be aiming for when we're pitching, when we're presenting, when we're speaking in public. We need to give audience permission to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Just a side note, I really hope I'm that cool when I'm his age. And we're into something different again. So we've got this next change in the narrative. If we think about the kind of building blocks, we had that little introduction, and now we're into the main body of the performance. And again, within this sort of middle 70%, it's not staying the same. We're continually changing it up and drawing the audience in.
I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
And again, it's stuff that you're not expecting. There's contrast here. big drums, lightning flashes. We've got the operatic voices. And that is really keeping our attention all the way through. So when we're thinking about your pitch, your presentation, what is it that's going to cause those gear changes and those shifts to keep the audience nice and engaged?
I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
We talk a lot in presentation skills about people's vocal dynamics. And again, this is a great example of those kind of outrageously high notes. I'm not even going to try. I've got a goal today. And the low stuff, chest voice here. So we go right from the head voice down into the chest voice. And in a business context, of course, you're not going to kind of go crazy like that. But so many of us get stuck in that kind of boring middle ground. Instead, we want to use that light and dark, that high and that low to keep the audience on the edge of their seats.
It's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go?
Again, just look at the relaxation in his body there. Even as he hits that madly high note, he's just so calm and grounded, and it feels like a safe pair of hands.
Let me go! Let me go! Let me go! Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Back down into the chest voice, so that vocal dynamic really playing out. Okay, and now we're just building to a crescendo. So we've got that kind of real high point of the song now. Everyone's going to be rocking out. We've got Brian May back on stage. Lovely bit of collaboration about to happen with the other lead guitarist there. And the whole thing has built to this absolute peak. And this is the end of Act 2 moment. So we've had the setup, that introduction, that first sort of 60, 80 seconds. Now we're just about to come to the end of the middle chunk of the presentation. We've hit that crescendo right at the end of the second act. And we're about to now come into the conclusion where we start to wrap things up. This is just another brilliant example of co-presenting, actually. When you see Brian May here and the female guitarist, they're just completely in sync with each other, and they are giving each other a huge amount of attention. So despite the fact that there are all those people there, they're really working, collaborating together and directing our attention to what they're doing. And we're just using that little bit of silence there at the end of those phrases just to continue to draw that audience forward. Another goosebump moment. And just as you think it's all over,
Anyway, the wind blows.
wow. And there we go. The end. Boom. We know what's happened, and they create that space for us to rise to our feet and give them a massive round of applause. So there you have it. I think it's a brilliant example of a piece of entertainment, a piece of theatre, a narrative, a story that takes the audience on a journey in a really unexpected way. And you've just got absolute essence of amazing performance in what Benson's doing on stage. The level of technical skill, but also the level of relaxation and connection with the audience is exactly what we should all be aiming for whenever we are pitching, presenting, or speaking in public.